Today's learning target is I can solve two-step equations.
So you've probably already figured out that solving a two-step equation has, oddly enough, two steps. So anytime we have a two-step equation, okay, we have an equation looks like this, and we want to solve for y. Step number one is we want to get rid of anything not attached to the variable. So here's our variable. So this positive 9, this plus 9, we want to get rid of. So to do that, okay, if I want to cancel that out, I'm going to subtract 9 from both sides, because that will still keep it equal. Okay, so plus 9 minus 9, okay, that cancels out. Okay, so now I have, on this side, I'm left with 3a, and over here that equals 33 minus 9 is going to be 24. Okay, notice how I'm showing my steps and I'm keeping my equal signs lined up. I want you to make sure you're doing that today. Now, step number 2 is I want to get the variable by itself. Here's my variable. This is 3 times a, so I want to do the opposite of that. So I'm going to divide by 3, because I know then 3 divided by 3 gives me 1. And to keep it equal, I do the same thing to both sides. So that cancels out, and I have a equals 8. Alright, so here we have an equation that looks a little different, but I'm going to solve it the same way. So step 1 is I get rid of anything not attached to the variable. So here's my variable, so this is going to be p, and I'm going to divide by 5. This part is not attached to the variable, so it's minus 12. I want to do the inverse, or the opposite, to get rid of that. Minus 12 plus 12 cancels out. Do it to both sides. Notice how I'm showing my work. Cancels out. Now I have p divided by 5 equals, keep my equal sign in line, 8. Okay, now I go to step number 2, which is to get the variable by itself. So this is p divided by 5. Okay, the inverse of dividing is multiplying. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 5. Okay, so I'm going to times this one by 5 as well. Now that cancels out, right, because this would be the same as that multiplication problem, and I could cancel out those. Okay, so over here I'm left with p equals 40. All right, now here's an example of an equation. We're going to solve the same way. Okay, step 1, get rid of anything not attached to the variable. That's right here. So we have, this is, if there's no sign, it's a plus 9. So I'm going to take away 9 from both sides. Okay, so that cancels out. Now I'm left with a negative t equals, okay, so this is negative 34 minus 9. Okay, remember we don't want to subtract a positive and a negative, so we're going to change that to adding the negative. Okay, and now it becomes an easier problem. I know that is a negative 43. Okay, now we always want our variable to be positive. So to do that, I'm going to times that negative t by a negative 1. Because I know a negative times a negative is a positive. Okay, so that would become a positive 1t, which is the same, I know, as just t. Okay, and now if I times it by a negative 1 on that side, I have to times this by a negative 1. Okay, well, negative 43 times negative 1 would give me a positive 43, and there's my answer. When I look at this equation, I notice that I have like terms. I have 2x plus another x here. So before I start solving, I want to combine my like terms. So I know that 2x plus another x is really 3 groups of x, minus 27 equals 3. And now I can go to my step 1 of solving, get rid of anything not attached to the variable. It's a 27, it's negative 27, so I'm going to add 27 to both sides. All right, notice I'm keeping things in line. I'm showing my work. Over here I have 3x, and that equals 30. And now I go to step 2, get the variable by itself. I want to divide both sides by 3. Cancels out. I'm left with x equals 10.